command issues at times. There you go.
Dietrich is hit, and he has some words from Romero, and he's on his way to first base. And I think there's a warning to both benches now. Here comes Don Mattingly out. He's not happy, and he's been thrown out of the ball game. Mattingly's been thrown out of the ball game. Dietrich is hit twice. Now the first one was a curveball that came in and hit him in the thigh, but this was 98, and this was up and in.
Hands 1-2. Peterson strikes out and spikes the bat down in frustration as the 7th inning comes to an end, and he just got thrown out. Thrown out by home plate umpire David Rackley. But the Dodgers add 4 here in the 7th and lead 10-2.
Oh, strike 3 call right there. And Kiermaier with a parting word. And that's going to get Kevin Cash out, and Charlie Montoyo started to come down immediately because he knew Kiermaier was hot. And there has been an ejection by Mike Mikulinski, the plate umpire.
Pete just got run.
I think he got run because they warned him. They warned both benches. Man, this is the hottest I think we've ever seen Pete in the county. What we just mentioned the other day, there's just never any arguing anymore.
I think he went out to ask, and apparently he didn't get the answer he wanted.
I don't think he did.
See, that's a ball that he wants to put in play. Here's some of the comparative stats all of last year in a small sampling size of 2017. Scoring 3 runs or less, the Rockies already have 4 victories, just 10 all of last year. But the 3.4 runs, it'll be over 5.
There's some John going on now.
And Buddy just got tossed out by Mike Everett. This has been ongoing.
Broken bat, ground ball, fair. Well, what do we get? I'm looking at CB Buckner. He didn't say anything. And now CB calls it fair and an out. And then it got a little bit more heated, and you could see it was going to boiling point. Out of here. Scott Service said his piece, got his money's worth.
Game the Rangers won 8-1. This one pounded in the dirt down the third baseline. Slow hop for Gallo, and his good throw, and plenty of time to get Davis for out number 1.
See what Martin Perez did last time against the Oakland A's. 5 1/3, 6 hits. Did a really good job with the swings and misses and the strikeouts, and now looks like we might see this called back as a foul ball. Now anything in front of the base, as we talked about, is not reviewable. Jeff Bannister not too thrilled about this call right now. I'd say it was close watching it live, but I didn't hear anybody say anything. We'll take a look here at the replay where Joey Gallo is, and so that's a judgment call as far as what they see over the bag. And Jeff Bannister is going to call it a day here in the 3rd inning. He is completely dissatisfied with that call, and I think he's got a fair argument.
It's interesting because I was looking at third base umpire Mike Everett signaling fair. I mean, he made a very decisive point fair, but it's really not his call. It's Welke's call. On a ball in front of the bag. Welke, the plate umpire, who was also subsequently now throwing Jeff Bannister. That didn't take Banny long either. He was hot. So he's done.
And it was important for Jeff Bannister, I think, to get his point across there. I think he had a good argument. The other part of that is that you don't want to turn that into a long argument, and it's tough to tell obviously from the side angle, but really, really close. You see the home plate umpire coming in and essentially overruling the call from third.
He'll try it again on 3-2, and that is strike 3. And Souza not happy. Kevin Cash is going to come out. Cash said, hey, don't be too hasty. How about checking with the guy at first? And Cash, if he had a collar, he'd be hot under it. So Souza Jr. out on strikes.
Well, Vanover, you're going to see he calls it on the swing. And that's what Kevin Cash is saying. Ask for help. Because it certainly didn't look like in real time that Souza Jr. went around on that. But that's what he got called on. You'll see Larry Vanover point at the bat.
Could still be Breslow. We'll find out. The 1-2 check swing he went. Castro strikes out. Some words with Alan Porter. And here comes Paul Molitor. Jacket on, and Paul Molitor's been tossed by Alan Porter. Paul is asking that Alan Porter get some help from Andy Fletcher, but Alan Porter said he had that the entire time, and this was just a matter of time. The Twins had been unhappy with the strike zone all day, and this was kind of the breaking point. Paul Molitor ejected here by Alan Porter.
Butterfield's getting into it right now with the third base umpire.
Yep, up against Alan Porter there. The other umpires are coming over to aid him as John Farrell comes out. Looks like Brian has been tossed out of the game.
It may have been a discussion about that play at second base.
I think Brian Butterfield upset about the spiking of Dustin Pedroia by Machado.
You know, to me, you know, if a guy comes out in the middle of innings and he's having words with an umpire, let it pass. Just, you know, let's have the chat, and that's okay. But throw somebody out between innings, to me, is weak.
Well, Brian Butterfield sticking up for his second baseman.
Here's Miguel Sano. Oh, what happened there? He threw it behind Sano. Now Sano is pointing toward Boyd. And look out, McCann and Sano now. Sano threw a punch. I don't know, Rod, and I'm trying to think if something might have happened in this game today, but he just went off immediately, started pointing his finger.
Well, anytime the ball is thrown behind you, you feel like there's intent. They are.
Oh, come on now. Oh, my goodness. How are they throwing Matthew Boyd out of this game?
And he gets drilled. We knew eventually that was coming.
That ball hit the bat. Did it not?
Yes, this all goes back to the spiking of Dustin Pedroia. Barnes has been thrown out.
Shift is on now with 2 strikes, and the 3-2 pitch struck him out. He may get tossed. Now he is tossed. Carpenter thrown out of this game. Mike Matheny thrown out of this game.
One to Calhoun, 2 away.
Wait a minute. There's nobody on base. He quick pitched him there, 3-1. And the Blue Jays are saying, what happened?
Well, and Russell Martin's talking with Ramon De Jesus,
what's going on?
It makes no sense at all. Stroman delivered the pitch, and De Jesus threw up his hands to call time.
So Marcus Stroman, as we know, he has that abbreviated delivery. He likes to change up his timing. He was standing on the pitching rubber, getting ready to throw the pitch. He got a sign from Martin. Instead of taking that little step back, he just lifted his leg and pitched the ball. He may be calling that an illegal pitch.
Time was not called.
And now Gibbons has been ejected.
I just think he made a mistake, the umpire, and they're just making something up here that just doesn't make any sense.
All right, Mike and Tony, thanks very much. As in between innings here, Andy Green was tossed from this game, arguing balls and strikes, it appeared. Get a little tired of watching the strike zone of Paul Emmel for most of the day, and frustration kind of boiled over, and he is ejected from this game. So a very questionable.
After the third out of the inning, John Gibbons is hollering from the dugout, and Toby Basner throws him out of the ball game, which is ridiculous. Gibbons was standing in the dugout. There's no way in the world Basner can hear what he's saying. Russell Martin was called out on a borderline pitch. Martin walked back to the dugout, and all the while, Toby Basner was watching him.
Ryan Braun was none too pleased with that called third strike. Quinn Wolcott, the home plate umpire, ringing him up, and Ryan's night is done as Braun disagreed and flipped the bat. Let's check it out. Here's the conversation after the called third strike.
Well, he must have said something after that because.
Runners off first and second. The 1-0 delivery, a pickoff play, and it goes into the outfield. Didn't see it though, and backed up by Adam Jones, who had to run a country mile to get to it. And a balk, I think, has been called. And there are going to be two in scoring position here in a minute. Balk called by the home plate umpire. He's out, but Showalter's been heaved.
Well, you got a rookie umpire that I think blew the call.
Bogaerts will lead it off. Bogaerts has had a big series. The 4 for 8, couple of runs scored. Moreland and then Young will follow. .333 batting average for the Red Sox shortstop. Gausman's delivery to him, and he didn't mean to do that. Oh, he threw him out of the game.
You gotta be kidding me.
He threw him out of the game.
Oh, you're.
Now remember, there were no warnings given, so this is a decision by the home plate umpire that the pitcher threw at him intentionally. There were no warnings given.
On a slider, a 77-mile-per-hour slider that backs up on a cold night. Sam, get it right, Sam. Come on. It's too late, though. You can beg and you do whatever, but this is all about what happened last night and what happened in Baltimore. You know, Caleb Joseph knows he wasn't trying to hit him with a backup slider.
No, I mean, we always try and be fair about these things. Obviously, with a slant, a little, but there is no way Kevin Gausman wanted to hit him.
Well, now you know, and again, not Sam Holbrook's been around a long time. There are umpires and there are people in the baseball world, maybe never pitched, but they think sometimes the way you get around throwing at guys is to actually throw a breaking ball. But please, you know, we had Sale throwing 97, Barnes throwing 96, Rodriguez trying to hit him, Bundy plunked the Betts. At the end of the day, it's a.
Here we go with Bill Welke.
He must have tossed him already, John, because there's no way he'd let him come out and talk about balls and strikes.
Well, we've seen it from both sides. In the last inning for the Yankees, 3 Yankees struck out. Gardner wasn't happy. Holliday wasn't happy with the strike 3 call.
He had to get ejected, and he is ejected. Obviously, that was from the bench, and that's why he came out and got his money's worth. And there it is. You're out. And then Welke let him have his say.
Batting in the 8th, bases loaded, 1 out. And a 2-2. He got him. Strike 3 called. On a breaking ball, and Healy can't believe it. Screaming with Mike Malinsky, and now turns back towards the dugout. And Healy is still upset. Now he's been tossed. He's back inside the dugout, and Mike Malinsky gave Healy a long time to think about it. He walked back and still was upset.
And I guess he's been thrown out. Somebody has. Here comes. Yeah, he's had a bad day already behind the plate. Already he's had a bad day.
Well, as we know, you can't argue balls and strikes, but what Ricky is telling him is you got your head in our dugout, and Ricky is hot. Well, now Brian O'Nora is going to come in and try to break this up. But managers will take a little bit longer in their arguments when the opposing pitcher is on the mound, and that's exactly what's happened here. Is Tillman's been standing out there, hasn't thrown any warm-up pitches, and Ricky is hoping perhaps he loses his release point.
And a base hit into right field. 1 run is home. Santana will be held. Now they've got Lindor hung up. Runner's still at third base. Now he's coming home. The run will score. Now they better get an out somewhere, and they will.
Interference.
Interference on the Blue Jays. Boy, that's a bad turn of events for the Blue Jays. 2 runs score, and they don't get an out anywhere.
Goins looks at third, and Lindor is controlling the rundown. Now, when Travis unloads, he's got to get out of the base path. And you see the contact made. Vic Carapazza, the home plate umpire, or second base umpire, called it immediately. And John Gibbons has been ejected from this game. The Indians get 2 runs, and now they have a runner in scoring position.
A lot of him in the National League Central last year. And as good as you're going to get, right, Dan?
He carves up Miami in the second for sure. While we were away, Don Mattingly was ejected from the game, and he and Hunter Wendelstedt went at it. The ejection came before this. Something was said from Miami's dugout, and Mattingly was out, and he and Wendelstedt were at it.
With his fastball command, all of the numbers against all of his pitches are up.
Yelich right now is really jawing with Andy Fletcher, and that's way out.
Yep, we're just going to go ahead and move on.
Now Yelich, and is he thrown out again? And that's really costly if that's Yelich. So Yelich has been ejected, and now Mattingly has been tossed. The nerves are raw, obviously, for Miami right now.
And now here's Escobar. And a balk has been called. A balk called, and the run is going to score. And out comes the Rays manager, Kevin Cash.
When Matt Andriese comes set, remember, he steps forward before he then comes up and comes set. There's a double toe tap.
Cash has just been ejected.
That's his normal windup. And I still don't understand what the issue was there.
Murphy taking on 3-2, and Les Diaz is going to call him out.
Daniel Murphy knows the strike zone better than most.
Well, from what we just saw, Daniel Murphy has been thrown out by Les Diaz. A lot of noise coming from the Nats dugout in between innings. This is after he'd already been tossed, and Murphy coming out, I'm sure talking about that strike 3 to him. Dusty tries to intervene, but it's too late.
Pete Walker just got tossed. I believe that Vic Carapazza just threw Pete Walker out of the game. He said something to Carapazza, obviously, on his way back from the mound visit toward the dugout, and Carapazza threw him out instantly.
And Tom Halley and the crew chief is waiting at first base, obviously, until Walker leaves. Now watch the reaction. Pete Walker says something to Carapazza, and Carapazza said, "What you got to say?" And of
Balls
course,
and strikes, huh?
Yeah.
Whoa. And he tried to bunt, and it was coming right at him.
Hit his finger. This is not good. That finger a lot of time is pinned against the bat when you bunt. A lot of time, you know, there's nothing worse because, you know, as you kind of grip that bat, especially for a hit, you have a tendency to get those fingers around it.
Great start to the season for Headley. First 14 games hitting .409. Last 18, 176.
See, that's wrong. Why can an umpire sit there and point? Michael, I tell you what, there's no reason that an umpire should be able to point right in your face.
What was he pointing about?
Well, they were arguing, but he can point in your face, and as soon as you go back, you're out.
0-2 coming to Walker. And Neal pops one foul. Over comes Perez toward the tarp, and he'll have room. And over comes Arcia to take it away from him at the last moment.
Good Lord. And somebody just got tossed from the, it was a Neil Walker on deck got tossed. That happened very quickly. I didn't even see the thumb, but all of a sudden there was Walker trying to get his last 2 cents in.
I got to say this. That the umpiring we've seen this year leaves a lot to be desired. We've seen some good ones. We've seen some terrific games. That Tide pitcher of that game, he didn't miss but one pitch the whole game.
A good one.
We've seen some really good umpires, but we have seen some bad umpire games too. And I'm not saying that the umpires themselves are bad. I'm saying we've seen some bad umpire games.
Well, Don is going to have to go back into the locker room and entertain himself for the rest of this, and he is still hot at Trip Gibson.
I don't blame him. Gibson's the one that screwed up the call.
The home plate umpire is Nick Lenz, and this is what happened during the commercial break. No more okay, no more okay. Well, Mike Matheny had plenty more to say. Frustrated with the strike zone, and as we suspected, he might get tossed, and he did.
And he throws behind Stanton. Well, you knew that was coming, or at least you had an idea it was coming. And here come the Marlins, and here come the Dodgers. Miami's not in a great mood. Kershaw is in the middle of it, jawing at Stanton right now. Bullpens are coming in. Mattingly, someone's got a hold of Mattingly right now. Don't forget that Giancarlo Stanton was seriously injured in Milwaukee 3 years ago.
Tapped slowly out in front. Pomeranz doesn't pick it up. The ball is thrown down the right field line. 1 run scores. Here comes Pinder. They're waving him home. He's going to score, and Fegley stops at third. Hold on now. The umpires are putting the runners back at second and third, and Bob Melvin's going to immediately come out and argue.
What if something happened in the bullpen?
The first runner, Plouffe, he scored.
Well, Mike Winters, did he see something that happened down in the bullpen?
They must have called it a dead ball down there in the bullpen.
When Betts put up his hands, the ball, and you notice that the chair remained, it was down, and they've been told, ball boys, security guys, pick up your chair and take it with you.
I think Bob Melvin just got thrown out as he's got a pretty good beef going with Mike Winters.
Larry Rothschild just got thrown out of the game. Had a few words for the home plate umpire, Scott Barry.
You know what? I had a feeling somebody was going to go. And here comes Joe Girardi. And you know what? Joe might be going too. You can't argue balls and strikes. He's getting a little heated. Finger pointing started. Did he just throw him out?
I think that's his throw out. Wave right there. It's not much. And Girardi's going to get his money's worth. Here we go. Just don't bump him.
Bumping means suspension. Well, Rothschild's gone. Pitching coach. Now the manager follows. Here comes Rothschild. Yep, he's gone. And here goes Joe Girardi. Ejection number 2. Meanwhile, home plate gets covered up. Right out of the Billy Martin playbook.
We go to the 6th inning. And now Aaron Judge is hit by a pitch. Matt Andriese immediately tossed from the game by Scott Barry as Judge, hit by a pitch, goes to first base. All of that precipitated by Tommy Lane hitting Corey Dickerson.
But Dwayne, was there a warning issued after Tommy Lane hit?
I think that's the conversation that Kevin Cash is having about this.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a warning issue, but regardless, Andriese is coming out of this ball game, and there was your response.
So Andriese ejected on the first pitch here in the 6th. He hits Judge.
Oh, and he got him right in the rib cage.
So we've had some fireworks here tonight.
Braves able to pick him up. He accepted the deal after apparently turning down some trades the previous couple of off seasons. Well, now Clint Hurdle. Phil Cuzzi, you can hear him say, you know better than that. So Clint Hurdle, rarely does he even leave the dugout. David Freese might have been tossed. And apparently he said something. So The Pirates might have lost David Freese, and they may lose their manager here any minute from Phil Cuzzi. This would be, I think, the first ejection of the year for Hurdle, and yeah, he's getting close, and that'll do it. Hurdle is gone now, and Cuzzi said, all right, that's what you wanted. That's what you got. Oh, a little check swing dribbler, and Josh Bell is going to be called out by the home plate umpire. Lentz, as Suzuki figured he had a better shot at Bell than he did at Jaso. Now, Clint Hurdle wants to know why you called him out. Was he tagged? He's not out of the baseline. Oh, Lentz says he is out of the baseline.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he called.
Nick Lentz call him out of the baseline, and of course we've seen Josh Harrison work his way out of some rundowns when it looked to the naked eye that he was out of the baseline, but we might see back-to-back nights where Clint Hurdle gets tossed. And he did get tossed. He just got ejected. Just as we were going to break, Clint Hurdle had one more word for Nick Lentz. Clint Hurdle, I think that this is certainly a first, ejected in back-to-back games.
Strike, 3 called. 1 out. 8th strikeout for Gonzalez.
And I think already I thought this pitch was down, but according to the tracer, right at the knees. Definitely over the plate.
Somebody just got run.
That was Scott, I believe.
And Momari, home plate umpire.
And here comes the call, and he is out at the plate. My goodness. You're kidding me. That's brutal. And the Brewers are livid. That's brutal. Counsel, you cannot argue challenges, and Counsel may get himself tossed here.
He deserves it. I mean, that's brutal. He misses him on the arm. I have no idea what they look at back there.
And he just got tossed.
Why even have replay? Get it right.
Counsel, I don't know if Counsel got tossed or Murphy got tossed, but someone's out. We'll take a break.
Now, in fairness to Hendricks, I think he was having some fun out there.
Yeah, he's having some fun. Oh, no, he's gone. There's no way he's going to stay in the game. That pitch is ridiculous. I knew he was going to get tossed. Bob Melvin, I just, what do you say? He called me a bad name?
Bob Melvin may get tossed.
I agree, because that's a horrible strike zone. That's terrible. That is really terrible.
So Lowry has been tossed.
Here's the 1-2. Check swing on a pitch in the dirt. He went around, and Hosmer screaming down at third base umpire David Rackley. Home plate umpire Bill Welke and the crew chief ejects Hosmer. Bill Welke got in front of Hosmer and was trying to guide him away. And then Hosmer either said something to Welke or he screamed something toward David Rackley at third base, and it was Welke who threw him out. And now Ned Yost is out there. Bill of the cap to Bill the cap with Welke, and now Ned is gone.
Whoa!
History.
And Bryce Harper wants a piece of Hunter Strickland. Here they go. Strickland lands a punch. Harper lands a punch. Bench is empty.
And that was intentional in my mind.
Middle of the back with the hardest fastball he has. And the Nats are going to need a right fielder.
Tell me what you think. You're watching it just like we are. I mean, that's behind him. That could have been ugly. And that's hard to defend. The rest is, well, defending yourself. And when a guy throws a 100-mile-an-hour pitch at you, I think you have to defend yourself.
Looked like Strickland might have landed the first one. Bryce got one in there.
Bryce just missed with the right hook. And then here comes everybody.
No homers yet this year. Another pickoff chance with a good throw. This time I think they called a balk. Yep, they did. That time Garcia's rung up for the balk. Eric Young was picked off back in the third inning, and Brian Snitker's asking for an explanation.
You know, you can't argue a balk. And he just got thrown out. I got to tell you, in defense of Ted Barrett, I thought he balked on the pickoff of Eric Young earlier. And that was on his step. Watch his front foot. I mean, that is his toes pointed toward first. And honestly, I don't think that was as bold a step as the one on Eric Young.
So Brian Snitker ejected here in the fifth inning on a balk call.